Happy birthday to
He found me.
I've been on the mountain with Jesus. I've been in the valley so low, but not one time has He failed me. When to Him with my sorrows I go. Let me walk with you, Jesus. Don't ever leave me alone. For without you, I could never. No.
I met Fred in 1962 when I moved back to Indiana to work for my father, and that's where life kind of began for me.
There I am in Ireland.
Do what?
That's all right.
Oh. I'm talking, you be quiet. We had a great time, but I found out later, as soon as I got there, he's always trying to get me to date a girl. And so he was always trying to hook me up with somebody. And so finally one day he said, we got a youth rally Friday night down in Sullivan. He said, we're driving our cars, but mine's full, because he had a 56 Chevrolet that you had to hold in third gear or it'd pop out. So I said, okay. He said, but my sister wants to go and doesn't have a ride.
Set him up.
She didn't know, but we didn't know. So I said, well, all right, she can ride with me. And believe me when I tell you this, there's the first person in the world that believed in distance, social distance. Because we got in the car, you know, back in my day when you took somebody somewhere, the girl slid over by you and you sat there. She would have climbed in the door handle if she could. So we made the trip, come back, I dumped the people out, I had to take her home. And I don't know what happened, but 30 days later I was in front of a preacher saying I do. And that was because Fred Edwards told me years later he wanted me to date somebody because he's afraid I was going to ask his girlfriend that. I don't steal another man's feelings. But we've had a lot of great time over the years. We went on vacations together. We went to conferences together. We preached for each other back and forth. One year we decided to rent a condo down on the Gulf of Mexico. And so we went there, and beautiful place. And I got up one morning, I was kind of having a kidney stone attack, so I couldn't go down, but they went down to the water and was looking for silver dollars and shark's teeth. So after a while I got to feeling better, and I went down to the Gulf of Mexico, and Fred was out there, had his mask on, snorkeling, looking for silver, for the sand dollars. And I went over to him, and he raised his head up, and I noticed something didn't look right. And he said, "I lost your keys." I said, "You lost your keys?" He said, "No, I lost my teeth." And I said, "We got to go to town, man. You look too ugly to go like that." So I went walking down. I was probably 75 yards down from him in the water, and I looked down and something come floating by. And I thought, do I pick that up or not? I picked it up, and it was his upper denture. And I took it back to him, and I actually found his teeth in the Gulf of Mexico.
Never forget it.
Kind of brought a lasting friendship. And then we had so much good times together. I don't have time really to tell all the good times. I've got another minute maybe. And I went over a lot of things, and I'd say, well, this I can tell, this I can't tell, this I can't tell. I better not tell this. If I tell this one, then I got one I can tell. But we've had a lot of good times, a lot of good memories. We've been very close. I know on March 9th, 2017, I had to have open heart surgery. And he came up to see me in the hospital. I had this beautiful scar on my chest right here. But he is so jealous.
I wasn't jealous.
Oh, you're jealous, man. What was it, 10 or 11 months later?
Yeah.
I get a phone call, what's the matter? Fred's in the hospital, he's going to have a bypass surgery. So we got to compare our incisions together. So he got one and we got one, except we made it through real good. We've been through tragedy. Of course, the time we lost Jeffrey was a tragic time, but we've all stayed together, and then he got a stroke recently. He's coming back doing good. But I will say this about my brother-in-law before I close. All his life, his main goal has been to do a work for God. Wherever he went, he did a work for God. Pastoring churches, starting churches, getting me to move to Kentucky and like to starve to death. But we had fun, but he's been very active for God, and I thank God for that very much. And so in closing, I'd like to say he introduced me to something in my life that's meant a whole lot to me ever since. He introduced me to Metamucil. And it's been a loving and moving experience. And with that,
Trevor, you did that for me.
I got to say that.
Trevor did that for me.
At your 80th birthday.
He is my blood uncle, and he's very close to me. We've been close for 61 years. No, I'm not going to cry. 61 years. My grandma and grandpa would take me down. We'd pick me up. We'd go visit him in Iowa and Nebraska and all these places I went to. And I'd sit in the middle and the seat. We'd drive all around. He'd play with my ear. That was one of my favorite things because he'd always play with my ear. Can I just hold it for a minute? Just let me hold it for a minute. Okay. As long as you want. You can. Okay. But anyway, I wrote down what Uncle Fred means to me. And U for uncle, U, everybody knows how to spell, I know, is unique. He is one of a kind. And N for uncle, of course, is nice to be around. He's always made you laugh. He's always had a story. My kids would go stay with him, Rochelle and Derek, in Bloomington, Indiana, and they'd crawl in bed with Uncle Fred and Aunt Joyce. They'd lay down in the middle and he'd tell them stories. They remember that very vividly. They loved to go to Uncle Fred and Aunt Joyce. In fact, sorry, Mom, but Rochelle always said Uncle Fred and Aunt Joyce was really close to her, like as much as a grandma and grandpa.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Sorry, Nanny, but that's what she said. But anyways, so then C is for Uncle, class. He always had such class. He of his own. He always liked to tell. He was trustworthy and honest, and he was always considerate and caring. He always had care for everybody. He was always honest and true, and that's one man you could trust. One man you could trust.
Like you're talking to Timmy.
She trusts you.
L is for uncle. L is for loving. He loves people. He's always loved people. And main thing, he's always loved God. He's always put God first and never ever wavered. I've never seen that man waver one time. But I love most of all for the L word is loud. I love being around him. Always being loud. He taught me to be loud, and I love it. Love it.
There,
love it.
that's better.
And he's always crazy and fun. I love to be loud. Loved it. And E was for uncle, and this is the last word for uncle, is exciting. He was always exciting, always around Uncle Fred, always banging on the piano, always singing, always loud, you know, all that. Emotional, and he was always towards people, put people first. He never met a stranger, and he was always energetic. Now, we're getting to Fred. Fred. F is for friendly. F is for friendly. Friendly Freddy, fun, family, and loves to sing. And then R is for righteousness. He always loves to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, Acts 2:38. He loves Acts 2:38. And then E is for the ears. He loves to hold your ear low, and he loves to sing while he's playing with your ear. And D is for determined. This is the last one for Fred. Uncle Fred is very determined. He is a fighter. He is strong. I'm going to cry. And he believes and always puts God first and family. He always puts family first. I love you.
I love you. Speak up now. You're a soft talker.
Put your hearing aids in. Turn them up.
What?
Okay. I met the Edwards family around 1956. That's a long time ago. And my aunt and uncle invited me to the Cincinnati Zoo, and we lived in Indianapolis, and they did at the same time. So we went to the zoo, and I met Fred and all. I don't know if Janice was there or not, but I know Joella was because we have a picture. I don't think it's up there where we first met. She was 8, and I was 12 years old, something like that. Anyway, I met Fred, and shortly after that we moved to Spencer, and he became my friend. And we decided we wanted to learn how to play guitar. So we started practicing, and we only had one guitar, and it was Fred's, but he shared with me. But we wanted to play together, so he would sit in a chair, get the guitar, and I would get over him, and I would play rhythm, and he would play lead on one guitar. And then finally, somebody felt sorry for me, and they got me a guitar. But we became friends for a long time. And you've seen the picture up there of all the mushrooms? We were out in Iowa and we went mushroom hunting, and we were in heaven. I mean, there was mushrooms everywhere. You couldn't walk without stepping on them. And so Fred became my friend, and he's a little bit older than me, but we became friends, and through thick and thin, we've always been friends. Friends are hard to find nowadays. How many's got a good friend that they stick with you, you know? And anyway, I appreciate Fred, And I can't believe he's 80. I really can't, because it seems like yesterday we were just teenagers. But I appreciate him, and I love him very much. And he's more like a brother than a brother-in-law. And I appreciate him. And I just have a question for everybody. How many has Fred played with your ears? Come on, be honest.
How many of them played with their ears? They all raised their hand.
Bless this ear, Lord. Oh, bless this ear. And I love Fred and Joyce, which keeps him straight. Amen. I appreciate him. And this is good. This has been good today. And I appreciate everybody. This is family. I didn't realize we had such a big family. But I thank God for keeping care of us. And I'm praying that he gets completely recovered and get back behind that wheel and drive that car and drive Joyce crazy. In Jesus' name. Let's give me them where you're hearing that.
I give him back to her.
Only said words. That's what his name is on Facebook page. And my daddy's name is Fred, my mama's name is Joyce, so I love the whole thing together. Fred Joyce Edwards is how that goes from now on.
Dad's name was Fred and his mom's name was Joyce.
Oh,
So
really?
It sure was.
Well, I wonder what that was good
I've
about
got
you.
some great Fred poems, by the way.
5 minutes, Greg.
I've been beat by a guy named Fred too, so I got a couple of things to say about him. But anyway, y'all asked me to write a poem for you today, and it's funny I was talking about that rubbing ears thing.
yeah.
You know what's crazy about it? Is that Ronnie walked in and rubbed my ear. It told me right then that the Lord is in here because of you and what he said. So I just know when that happened and you did it, I knew right who was doing it. I cry a lot, but I don't care. I'm big and I can take care of myself. Anyway, they swirl through my head, these words I must say. The words of wished well and happy birthday. Within me they urge the most glorious part, the descriptions of love in your beautiful heart. A beacon of light we all gather to cheer, stealing our hearts, rubbing our ears. The words come together, God's love be the glue. Let's raise up our glass. Fred, happy birthday to you.
Thanks for writing that poem. Thank you.
Give y'all a little break.
Everybody for being here. It's been great. I know we all love them, Fred, so I knew you all would show. But I also want to thank Eleanor for the beautiful decorations that she did. She put them together for us. And for Amber put all the Evites together and kept track of who was supposed to come and who wasn't supposed to come. So thank you, Amber. And for Pammy, for Rochelle,
Yeah.
for you, Cindy, for doing the food and getting everything together. So we appreciate all of you, love you, and we got cake.
He'll show you the way, show you the way. If you know the Lord, you need nobody else to show you the way. God's wonderful way. Thank you for the opportunity to blow our balloon again.
Hey, this boy, I'm 3 years older than him, but we have fault most abroad.
Where's Joella? She sang with us.
He's looking for you.
He's looking for you. Where's Joel?
You sang with us.
No, I did.
Not with the Buck and Dottie, but
I was babysitting your kids.
babysitting my kid.
So we had a brother.
This is the only one I remember coming home from the hospital.
Well, you was just 3 years old when I met him.
Huh?
Well, it's because Doris was home and Mom had her, and she said she hit the wall when she...
I had a memory when I was little.
Talk louder.
He was tormenting us or something, the Doris or somebody. And so Dad takes us into the bedroom. Mom gets mad and Dad has to take us into the bedroom because he's going to whip us. Well, he puts us over the bed and he hits the pillow, the bed with the belt. And he said, act like you're crying so your mom thinks I'm spanking you. And I was just only like 5 or 6. But I remember that. That's 3. I don't think she was there yet. But I
She was
remember
there,
that.
but
Well, she was there, but she wasn't there fighting.
Happy 80th birthday, Pappy. Elias and I are going to sing to you. Are you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pap. Happy birthday to you. That was a 3-part harmony with Zion in the background. We love you, Pappy. Thank you for always treating me like family and like a grandson-in-law. You've always been so kind to me. Elias has a trait of yours that I love. Whenever we go to a restaurant, nobody's a stranger to him. He talks to everybody just like his great-grandfather. And we wish we could be with you today, but we know you are enjoying some good stories, some good food, some good music, and good family, all those things you love so much. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Pappy, happy, 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 happy. I hope your day is filled with love and family. And I just wanted to say how much I love and appreciate you and wish we were there. But we're sending our love from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I want to say thank you for all the love that you've given to me my whole life. And now my little family. I'm so thankful the way that you love Tyler and Elias and now little Zion. And you've always loved the same. It's never changed. And it's not just for our family, but it's for everyone. You're so easy to love because you love others so easily. You don't wait for others to start the conversation. You are friendly Fred, and you show yourself friendly. And I'm so thankful that I've had that to look up to my whole life. And I love you, and I hope that your day is awesome.
Married, we went out to Illinois and we visited one of the churches that he built in Monmouth, and just a beautiful building, and saw the small town, the beautiful work. And then I personally had the experience of seeing him build a church in Sebring, where he went to Sebring as a 50-year-old man and pulled up roots and went and traveled down here to Florida. He left a full-time church position because he felt like the Lord was calling him down to Florida. And he took a small work in Sebring that had a storefront building with just a handful of people. And I think maybe 7 people or so voted him in as pastor. And then he built that work up. He and Joyce built the work up. And they moved from the storefront building in downtown Sebring to a little area where they bought property and had a very small building. And they held church in there as they grew and prospered, and the Lord blessed them. They bought additional property next door to the church building, and then even more property, and they began to clear off that property, and they built a gorgeous building, one of the prettiest churches I've seen there in Sebring. And he has just invested, his whole life has been investing in ministry, in building churches and congregations, and then also in people. And I'm thankful all of us here have been influenced by Pappy's life and the good things that he's built in our lives. And Tammy and I are part of that. Our own lives have been blessed by Fred and by Joyce, and what they've instilled in us and what they built in us personally. Fred gave me some of my first opportunities and chances to go preach at different places, and he trusted me and gave me opportunity, and because of that I was able to grow in ministry. I've seen him
take $100 bills out of his wallet and give them to struggling pastors or struggling evangelists or struggling missionaries. He's always had a heart for those that have been struggling. And I've seen him time after time pull $100 bills out and hand those to people. Probably there's people here in the room today, he gave you a $100 bill at one point or another, but he just always invested in ministers, would have them in to come and preach for them, where I knew that they were going to be blessed more than they were going to be a blessing. And he did that time and time again, invested in ministry. I've seen him give pastors that didn't have a vehicle the keys to a vehicle to drive until they got another vehicle. And on he just continually invested in ministry. And he's shown that to me and to Tammy and to our kids and to everyone here. We've all seen that, Fred and Joyce. And so I love him, and I'm celebrating his 80th birthday today, and I'm just praying the Lord gives him many, many more.
Thank you.
In Jesus' name, amen.
I just want to say
He
this.
used to take us everywhere. I took my first trip to SeaWorld with Pappy. Me and Cody went with him, and he bought us each a stuffed animal. He bought me Flipper. I think he bought Cody some sort of white seal. And we played with those things till they were dirty and disgusting, and we had to throw them away, but we didn't want to. He took us to SeaWorld for the first time, and I also got lost in the SeaWorld parking lot for the first time with Pappy. I think we spent an hour in the parking lot, maybe longer. And so all the other cars had left, and that's how we found Pappy's truck. Instead of all the other trucks that left, we had such a good time that he forgot where he parked. I would go with Pappy to preaching engagements sometimes. More than once we went down to Miami, once for preaching and I think a few times just to hang out. He would take, my parents didn't go with us, it was just either me alone or sometimes Cody would go with us. And we had such a great time hanging out in the truck and just spending time together. He gave me my first sip of coffee and I hated it, but now I love coffee, so thank you, Pappy, for the introduction.
You're the best. His coffee is so strong it can walk by itself.
On our one of the trips to Miami when I was real little, Pappy was going to take us and he said, all right, we're going to go to Miami. And I said, Pappy, where is your Amy?
I said, did you hear what he said? He said, where's your Rami? I'm going to take you to Miami, and I don't know, where is your Rami?
So we've had a lot of good times. And now that I'm older, I get the chance to drive him around. Take him to appointments, and we drive around, get cars fixed, and spend time together. So I'm grateful for everything that you've done for me, Pappy. You bought me my first car, and I wrecked it. And you bought us another car, and I wrecked that one too. So. You've been really good to me, and I love you.
They hit you, though.
They hit me first, yeah. That's right. They hit me first. But I'm appreciative of his ministry and his love. The picture on the screen right now, I took that photo in 2018, so it was just a year after our son had been born. And I was over at Pappy's house and was telling him about my interest in photography, and told him that I was interested in film. He still had his camera from, I don't know, the 90s. He got it his second trip to Israel for that trip, and then he took a lot of photos of us as kids, which we still have today. We still have those those photos of us hanging out in the truck. And so I told him about my interest in photography, and Pappy said, "Well, I got a camera here at the house. Do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I took that picture of him. I think with film that was still in the camera from, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that. I don't know how it still took. But Pappy's been good to me, and I love you. And I'm glad for 80 years. It's awesome.
But he ended up being on a submarine, a sonar technician, went to college, and he guided that big baby through the water. This kid is smart. He's a big boy. And I just thank God for him. He was on the USS Dallas. He was on the USS Virginia. The Navy offered him a if he'd just be shine.
I think he's still preach.
He said no.
Thank you, Cody.
6 years is long enough to be on a boat that you live under the ocean.
Right.
And I don't want no more time under the ocean. I'm going to come home and get. He's still in college. He's still furthering his education. I love him. And I love his
Cody, weren't you supposed to talk about him?
Hey, I'm Cody.
I didn't know all that, so I thank you.
Now their sister's not here today. Their sister is not here today.
Let's get on a pulpit real quick.
Huh?
Okay. Well, everyone's covered a lot of things, so I'm just going to kind of talk about what I've grown up with you.
Huh?
I'm telling everybody about me and you.
Amen.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I love about Pat.
Well, I want you to tell us what happened. I want you to tell us what happened to your sister just recently.
Said she had a baby.
We have her on video.
She's got 2 boys.
She's next.
We have a video.
She's next. Right now,
You gonna put her picture on?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cody's gonna talk first.
You can talk about her. You can talk about her.
The poor middle child.
They couldn't be here. They passed her brother Joe or John.
Cody's gonna talk about me.
Not about me.
I'm going to talk about you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, go.
So something about Pappy or Fred or whatever you want to call him is he's always invested in us what he saw we were interested in. So when we were younger, I like music. He'd start showing us things. Even if we weren't super interested at the time, he would constantly, kind of push us to do better and to really focus on those things we're sort of interested in. So with me, he saw that, I liked music, so he gave me my first guitar. And we'd sit there and we'd practice together. He'd show me 3 chords, G, C, and D.
I love you.
I love you. He's always been super supportive of me. He came and saw my submarine school graduation all the way up to Connecticut.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Talk louder.
You're precious.
You're precious.
Cody, louder.
Louder.
Cody.
Me. So
I didn't hear you.
So recently I came and I talked to him and I said, I missed out on a lot of opportunities as a kid because I wasn't really interested in working. I didn't want to learn how to do electronics or working with tools and stuff. And he told me, as a kid you don't think about those things. But now he's given that chance to invest that into me. So he recently gave me a bunch of his tools. We sat around and talked about all kinds of construction stuff. And he got out and he was working with me. You remember that?
What?
Yeah.
Tell me again. Huh?
And another thing we also love is old music. We're even listening to it on the way here today.
Old music.
Old music.
Older music. Merle Haggard.
I'm proud to be born.
Cody, you're never gonna forget this.
Place where even squares can have a ball.
Cody, this is the best.
Look.
You got the best.
I feel like I'm looking at Papa John.
Yeah.
But
I look like him.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Aunt Joyce asked me to say something. I was thinking, what was my very, very, very first memory of you? My very first memory. And my very first memory is when they lived in an apartment off of Post Road. And one day, Dad took me over there. I thought I was going over to play with Jeff. And so we pulled up and there was a big truck out front. Real big truck, and it had a ramp. And then I got out of the car and I ran up the ramp. And I was like, what's going on? And Uncle Fred said, we're moving. He said, we're moving to Iowa. And I was like, are you coming back?
Moving to Iowa?
Yeah, that's my very first memory. And he really did. He stopped what he was doing and he explained that about the church and that we could come out and see him. And so that was my very first memory of Uncle Fred. And then we shared a lot of fun times.
And I'd get to come to Florida and see you.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember. And one time, he and I went to the Indiana Sports Show together. Remember when we went to the sports show together?
When, where?
Never mind.
Say it.
The sports show, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got sick. I'll leave it there. Amen. He said, I'll never forget that. Yeah, we got sick. And we had a good time to laugh, but both Uncle Fred and Aunt Joyce gave me opportunities, and I cut grass when they came to Sebring, and they helped me stay alive that way. Indiana, I had a church with hardly anything. He preached me, and he preached me a revival, and it wasn't because I was a great preacher.
Is that when they give free samples?
Yeah, oh yeah, don't tell, that's it.
We got sick and threw up.
Don't tell it all.
Our first time to have a chew.
That was his first time to have a chew. And it flew.
Remember that.
Oh yeah. But I thank God for them. Recently, as you know, he had a stroke. 3 years ago, I had a stroke. And, you know, one of the things that you can say, once you've gone through something, you do have words to say to somebody else like that, what they're going through, you know. And really the best thing you can say is, you may not feel like it today, but there's a better day. Amen. You know, and so what's good is, in life, we can all laugh again. Right? We can all laugh again. We get through it and we get to laugh again. And laughter is our best medicine.
Yes.
And so we love you, Fred.
We love you, Ron. You're a great nephew.
Thank you.
You was my son's best friend.
Yes. And
I don't think I've ever had you at him to his grave yet.
Yeah, we did. Me and you went together.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
I remember you really took it pretty hard when he died.
Yeah, I did. But, you know, his birthday is December 1st. Mac's birthday is December 1st. So it was all during that same time that those friendships were exchanged. So, anyway, I love you.
I love you.
Can we all get together? And the Lord answered my prayer, and I thank Him. And I love you.
Love you.
I'm glad we're still here at the old age.
God bless you. Now we're all old and crippled.
Joella, you want to say something? Aunt Janice, you want to say anything?
Love you, man.
He said he's a pretty easy guy to love because he just shows love everywhere he goes and friendliness. So, love you, Dad.
Hold on. I'm going to say something. Okay.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Kim. All the nieces, just the nieces and the nephews, please stand. Okay, is that all of them? Cindy?
You're a niece and an stand up, she said.
Oh, you'll be standing. I respect. I don't know.
I'm not gonna let you see. No, we're just standing. Okay, I want each one of you, except for Ronnie Ray, you can do your own here, to give me one word, as close as one word, that you can, that means something to you about your Uncle Fred. We'll start with Jeannie.
Handy.
Handy, okay. Jill.
I have the favorite earlobe.
Favorite.
One word. You do.
No, I do.
That's all right.
Favorite. Lovable.
Lovable. Cindy? One word, Cindy.
Fun.
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 Christy?
Kind.
Kind? Over there, can't see.
Guitars.
Stevie? What?
Guitars.
Sherry?
Energetic.
Okay, Kimberly, you got the floor.
Friendly.
Friendly Fred.
Friendly Fred. Love of family. Mine was more than one.
Love you all.
Heather.
No, I would say lovable.
Lovable.
Did anybody say loud?
And loud.
Well, that's good. That's good. Somebody should have said loud. Loud.
Loud.
Loud.
80 years today. Woo! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Uncle Fred. Happy birthday to
That's great.
This is my
There they are.
firstborn great grandson. Trevor was my firstborn grandson. And this kid is precious. Love him.